Ja, Teishke do Shadene Shade Annalisa Rockbridge Yinship. I'm Annalisa Rockbridge and I'm going to be your yoga guide this afternoon. Little disclaimer, I'm out of contacts, I can't see. So I'm pretty sure I can get us through this. You guys probably just heard my knee pop right there. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start in a nice seated position where our hands can be resting on our thighs, hands down or facing up. But let's take 3 cleansing breaths together. But first, let's just unclench the jaw, allow the tip of the tongue to drop from the roof of the mouth, and then take the first breath in and allow the shoulder heads to move away from the ears. Very good. So let's take 3 cleansing breaths just to link our breath to our body. As you sit down through your sit bones, rise up through the sternum and take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And then with some sound, open your mouth and sigh it out. Let's do that again. Let's inhale. Hold at the top. Open mouth, sigh, exhale, let that breath go. And let's do that again. Let's inhale. Hold at the top. And see if you can sip in just a little bit more air. Open mouth, sigh, exhale, let that breath go. Very nice. Let's come onto our backs for just a moment and link our breath to our movement. So maybe we'll allow the left hand to come onto the chest and the right hand to come on towards the belly. When you take a deep breath in, feel how the lower belly draws in towards the spine and how the chest rises up. And then just softly sigh that air out. And let's do that again. Let's inhale. Feel how the lower belly draws in towards the spine. Feel how the chest starts to rise up. Open mouth, sigh, exhale, let it go. Let's draw both knees into the chest. Rock side to side just to give yourself a little bit of a lumbar massage. Also checking in with how your lower back feels today. And then changing the interlacing to behind your knees. And then rocking and rolling up the length of your spine. Maybe just giving yourself a little bit of massage there. Coming back into our Sukhasana, seated position. This time I'm going to allow my block to help support my knee. But as I sit down and root down through my sit bones, I'm going to inhale and draw my hands forward, interlace them, and then draw my hands interlaced above my head. Pushing up through the palms all the way to the sky or the ceiling, wherever you may be this afternoon. And breathe. Allow the hands to separate. And then if you feel as if your chest is puffing out because your hands are reaching behind your ears, allow your hands and your arms to gently come forward slightly. And then draw your lower ribs down, but continue to draw up through the crown of your head. And then when you're ready, as you exhale, hands come down to the side. Very good. So let's do that again. Let's inhale, hands come up and above our head, palms touch each other. And instead of allowing the shoulders to reach up, draw the shoulder heads down and then allow the left hand to come over towards the right knee. The right hand is going to come behind you. The back hand is up there for support, so it's kind of like a little kickstand. So you lift up through your sternum. As you inhale, you want to find that length through the spine. And then as you exhale, you want to deepen your twist. With each inhale, continue to find length through all sides of your waist. And as you exhale, continue to deepen the twist. When you're ready, both of the hands are going to float up and above your head. Palms face each other. Keep drawing those frontal ribs down towards the frontal hip points. And then when you're ready, exhale, left hand comes behind you. Right hand comes onto the left knee. Everybody draw that left hand behind you so that it lifts your chest up. Spread across your collarbones as you exhale and twist over to the left. Again, your mantra here is to inhale, rise up through the sternum and the crown of the head, and then exhale, twist deep into the internal organs, detoxing your insides. One more breath here. And when you're ready, hands float forward and above your head. This time the right hand is going to come down towards the right, and you're going to walk your hand over to the right ever so slightly. Your left hand's going to come up and reaching over towards the right. Maybe you look up at the left underarm. So you should feel this nice lateral stretch through the sides of your body. Continue to breathe onto the side. As you inhale, rise both hands up and above your head. As you exhale, the left hand comes down towards the mat and start crawling it over to the left. The right hand's going to reach straight up into the sky and over on the right. Maybe your gaze looks up towards the sky. Maybe it's on the underarm. Wherever you are, you're not holding your breath, but you're continuing to breathe, following your breath. Continuing to link the breath to the movement. As you inhale, both hands rise up and above your head. Exhale, hands float down in front of you. Very good. So let's come into child's pose. Sinking our hips back onto the tops of our heels. Let the chest lie and rest on top of the thighs. And then curl your hands out, straight out in front of you so that the elbows are lifted up off of the mat in an extended active child's pose. If you need to, keep your big toes together and then widen your knees to the distance of your edge of your mat. Sink your hips back onto your heels and allow your body to rest inside of your thighs. Maybe the hairline of the forehead reach onto the mat. Again, you're crawling your arms forward so much that you're pushing down into your hands, your forearms and your elbows are off of the mat. And as if I were standing next to you and you can feel my hands on your lower back, take a deep breath in to expand my hands. And then exhale, let go of that breath. Continue to breathe into the sides of your ribs and the back. When you're ready, we're going to crawl ourselves forward. Come into a cat-cow position. So we're going to stack our knees directly above our hips. Stack our wrists directly above our shoulders. Knees are about a hip distance apart. With the inhale, you're going to draw your chest and your sternum through your arms. The belly drops down towards the mat and the tailbone lifts up towards the sky. Cow pose. As you exhale, slowly articulating your vertebrae, the chin starts to draw towards the chest, the belly starts to draw up towards the spine, and the pelvis starts to tilt posteriorly so your tailbone draws down towards the mat. Cat pose. Push down so much into the mat that you're spreading across your thoracic spine, that big meaty part of your back that gets sore. Continuing to articulate your vertebrae, your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Interiorly tilting your pelvis, drawing your chest through your sternum. Maybe your gaze starts to look up towards the sky. And then exhale, finding that stretch across your upper back. Cat pose. Continue to link your breath to your movement, moving slowly. We're not rushing towards anything. We're not rushing for the next pose, but we're trying to see how slow we can move so that we can articulate our spine one vertebrae at a time. One more breath here on your own. When you're ready, walk your hands forward ever so slightly. Tuck the toes, lift the knees up, and then shift the hips up and back into your first Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now, if you have any wrist issues like you know I do, I always turn my wrist out. If you have tight shoulders, again, turning your hands out will help find that length in the back of the neck and the spine. Take a peek back at your feet and make sure that the heels are turned out so they're tucking behind your second toe. Maybe we want to come up onto our tippy toes and put a deep bend in the knees so that the hips lift up higher. Sometimes when our hamstrings are tight, that helps find length in the sides of the waist. But wherever you are, continue to push down into your hands so that you evenly distribute the weight into your legs. This time we're going to walk our hands up to meet our feet. Grab your elbows, shift the weight forward, and allow your head to hang down towards the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathing in every pose, never holding your breath. Changing the interlacing of your elbows, grabbing opposite elbows, using them as little weights to allow the crown of the head to come down a little bit closer to the floor. Maybe you have a nice generous bend in the knees so that the chest rests on top of the thighs. With strong legs, have your hands come onto your hips, and with the strong spine, rise all the way up into the sky. Hi. Very nice, everybody. So, from here, let's take up the mat. So, take a nice wide stance, and from deep within your right hip socket, externally rotate your right knee, right hip, knee, shin, foot, and thigh out to the right, 90 degrees, and then drop your left heel back at a 45-degree angle. Put a deep bend in your right knee so that it stacks directly above your right ankle. Keep looking down at that knee and make sure that you can see your second toe. If you can't, continue to guide your right knee towards the pinky toe, so keep pushing it towards the right. This back leg is so strong that you're lifting up to the inner arch. Hands come out to a T and lift your body up off of your front thigh. So you come into your Virabhadrasana 2. And when you're ready, straighten out that front leg. Take a deep breath in and then exhale, drop back into Vira 2. So we're going to move dynamically just so that we feel what Vira 2 feels like. Continuing to allow the shoulder heads to draw away from the ears. Continue to stack the shoulders directly above the hips. One more time. And let's pause in our Vira 2. Take your gaze over the middle finger of the right hand. And then draw your left hand back so that you spread across your collarbones. 2 more breaths here on your own. Straighten out your right leg, parallel your feet, and let's do everything on that left side. So externally rotating your thigh, knee, shin, and foot to the left, 90 degrees. Drop that right heel back, 45. So you're lining your heel and your arch up. Put a deep bend in that left knee, and then hands come out to a T. Your back leg is very strong and straight, and then when you're ready, straighten out that right leg. So both legs are straight. And then exhale, put a deep bend in your left knee. Continue to draw your torso up off of your left thigh so that your shoulders are stacking directly above your hips. Straighten out that leg, continuing to dynamically move between your Vira 2. Draw that right hand back. Continue to draw your left knee towards your pinky toe. And let's find stillness in our Virabhadrasana 2. Lift all the way up from the lower belly all the way to the crown of the head. One more breath here on your own. And then straighten out your legs. Allow your heels to drop back. And we're going to set up for Padottanasana A. So if you know that you want to start working on your tripod, your headstand, this is where you're going to allow your legs to come into a very wide stance. Allow your heels to drop back. Your tripod is not in your practice. Your feet can be at a shorter distance. But everyone put their hands on their hips. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Hands come down towards the mat, stacking directly underneath your shoulders. Lengthen out the spine by drawing the shoulder heads away from the ears. And everybody at the same time, shift forward onto the toes. You should feel a nice stretch in the inner thigh. If you're wanting to work on the tripod, start walking your hands back, keeping your palms in line with your heels, keeping your hands close together so that your elbows begin to bend at a 90 degree, and draw your elbows in towards each other like chaturanga arms. The crown of the head comes down towards the mat, and then your shoulder heads lift up off of the ears. Everybody continue to shift the weight forward into the toes and then push up into your version of your tripod. We're never holding our breath, breathing in every pose that you come into. Trying to lower down quietly. That was not quietly. Walking your hands forward so that they stack underneath your shoulders again. And with the inhale, hands come onto the hips, rising back up. Hi, everybody. So let's come back into our Vira 2 by externally rotating our right thigh, knee, shin, and foot out to the right. And then putting the deep bend into the right knee. Hands come out to a T. Lift the torso up off of the right thigh and breathe. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. When you're ready, the right hand is going to reach and extend all the way out. And then the right forearm is going to come onto the right thigh or behind your right ankle. Your left hand's coming straight up into the sky. Your right knee is pressing against your right elbow, and your right elbow is resisting your knee so that your right hip continues to draw up and in under you. Look up at your left hand, Parsvakonasana, and then your left hand sweeps up and over your left ear. So you have this nice long line of energy from your toes to the fingertips. Continue to breathe. Allow the chest and the belly to spin up towards the sky. And then when you're ready, using your core, using your legs, passing through Vira 2, paralleling your feet out. Externally rotating that left thigh so that you're setting up for Vira 2 on the left side. Again, your feet are at a heel to arch alignment. You're lifting up through your left inner arch so you have a strong back leg. You should be able to see your second toe of your left foot, and your left knee is pushing out towards your pinky toe. Left forearm comes onto the left thigh. Right hand sweeps over the right ear, so you have this nice long line of energy. You're looking for a deeper stretch. Your hand can come down outside of your left ankle, but everybody draw that left hip in and under. It has a tendency to want to pop its way out. And breathe. Right hand comes back up into the sky. We're going to pass through Vira 2 using the legs and the core. Straighten out that left leg, parallel your feet out. If you know that you have tighter shoulders today, go ahead and grab your belt. If not, interlace your hands behind you on your lower back. Lift up to the chest and sternum. And when you're ready, exhale, fold over your legs. The top of the head shouldn't easily come down towards the mat. If it does, heel toe your feet closer together. But everybody at the same time, shift the weight forward into the toes. And lift the shoulder heads away from the ears. Breathe. Hands come onto the hips with a long spine, rise all the way up. Hi. Let's step up to the top of the mat and work on our Malasana. So widen your feet out as wide as step your feet out as wide as your mat, and then allow your hips to drop down into a squat. If you have tight hips, sometimes this is the lowest you can go. If you have a block, sometimes that might be a nice version for you to be able to sit on your block and then push your knees out with your elbows, keeping them in a prayer position. If you have pretty open hips and you're able to drop your hips all the way down towards the mat, continue to draw up through the sternum, continue to draw up through the crown of the head, spread across the collarbones, and breathe. If you're somebody who wants to work on crow, Bakasana, maybe you want to plant your hands straight down in front of you so that they are shoulder width distance apart. Come up on your tippy toes and squeeze your underarms in so much with your knees. Setting up a little chaturanga arms. Maybe you lift up your right foot. Maybe you lift up your left. Maybe you lift up both of them. Wherever you are, this can take a moment to play, finding your balance, trusting wherever you are today. Allow both of the hands to come down towards the mat. Heel toe your feet together. Shift the weight into the toes. Uttanasana, forward fold. Hands come onto the hips and stand all the way up, Tadasana. Very nice, everybody. You're doing very well. So let's flow a little bit. Let's continue to work some heat into our body and do a couple of Surya Namaskar A's. So as you inhale, draw your arms forward and above. Pinkies lead, so you get a full external rotation through your elbows. Pick the back of the ribs up off of the waist and hinge over your thighs. Uttanasana, forward fold. As you inhale, draw the hands underneath the knees for Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, hop, step, or jump back into Chaturanga. For this first one, we're going to allow both of the knees to come down towards the mat and then lower down halfway. Then lower down all the way to our stomachs. Untuck the toes. Fan the tops of the toenails out on the mat and push down on the tops of the feet so much it lifts the knees up off of the mat. Slide your hands back towards your ribs. Draw the elbows in towards each other and then push down into your hands so much it lifts your forehead and your shoulder heads off of the mat. Bhunjanasana. As you exhale, the forehead comes down towards the mat. Lift, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths here on your own. And when you're ready, look up at your hands. The right foot steps up to the right hand. Left foot steps up. Come up halfway by drawing your shoulder heads away from your ears. Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, fold back over the legs. Uttanasana. Strong leg, strong spine rises you all the way up. Palms touch at the top of your head. Look up at your thumbs. As you exhale, hands come into the chest. Samastitihi. Let's do it again. Inhale, arms flow forward and above. Utthita Hastasana into Tadasana. Exhaling into Uttanasana. Inhaling for a long spine, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, hop, step, or jump back, Chaturanga. Lowering down halfway. Flipping over the tops of the feet, keeping the sternum and the hips lifting up off of the floor. Drawing the shoulder heads away from the ears. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take 2 breaths here, checking in with yourself as the body begins to cultivate a little bit more heat. And when you're ready, look up at the hands. Left foot steps up to the left hand. Right foot steps up to the right. Come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana for an inhale. As you exhale, fold back over the legs. Strong legs, strong spine, rise you back up into the sky. Look up at your thumbs. Exhale, hands come into the chest, Samastitihi. Last time together. As you inhale, float the arms out to the side and above your head. Exhale, Uttanasana. Shift the weight forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Hop, step, or jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And as you exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Finding 2 to 3 breaths here on your own. Your body should have a lot of heat at this point. Putting a deep bend in the knees. Hop, step, or jump up to your hands. Come up halfway for an inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, folding over the legs. Strong legs, strong spine, rise you back up into the sky. Exhaling, hands come into the chest, Samastitihi. Very good. Continuing to work with this heat that we have cultivated, that we have made in our body. Let's sink our hips back into Utkatasana, chair pose, so that the weight sinks into the heels. Look down at your toes. If you can't see them, shift the shins back by sinking the hips down a little bit lower. Lift the chest up and lift the arms up. Hands come into the chest, into prayer position. Left elbow comes onto the right thigh. And let's twist. Draw this left hip back because it has a tendency to want to pop out or go the other way. So you're in this Utkatasana prayer twist because we have a lot of heat, and with this heat we want to be able to detox. With a deep breath, lift up your left leg and step it back into the Anjane Asana twist. Very good. If you need to drop down on that lower left knee, go ahead and do that that time. But everybody draw the left hip back. Continue to twist. Maybe look past your left shoulder. And then how gracefully can you step back up into your Utkatasana chair twist. Yeah, you guys, very good. Passing through Utkatasana. Hands come into Samastitihi. Very good. Let's do the other side. Inhale, hands rise up and above your head as you sink your hips down and back. Hands come into the chest, right elbow crosses onto the left thigh, Utkatasana chair, twist. Looking down at your knees, making sure the right hip is drawing back. Continue to draw the forehead away from the hands. And when you're ready, step that right foot back so you come into your Anjaneyasana twist. And continue to draw that left hip back. If you need to drop down on that right knee, go ahead and do that here. Honor your body every day wherever it is. We show up with a different body every day. How gracefully can you step back up into your prayer twist? Look at your knees, make sure that right knee isn't jutting out. So pull that right hip back. And then come back into chair pose. Hands come into the chest, Samasthiti. Very good, you guys. It was a lot of Okay, so inhale, hands come up and above your head. Exhale, fold over your legs. Shift the weight into the toes, and then pull the shoulder heads away from the ears, Ardha Uttanasana. Hop, step, or jump back into your Chaturanga, moving it through your Virasana, or moving it through your Vinyasa, or meeting us in downward facing dog. Every asana I offer is just a choice. It's an offering. You don't have to take every single one. So from this down dog, let's lower down onto our forearms so we come into dolphin pose. If you like to interlace your hands, go ahead and do that here. But start to walk your feet towards your face so that you begin to stack your shoulders above your elbows. Maybe you look up at your hands as you continue to draw your hips up and back. If you want to work on maybe floating up, start by drawing your right leg up, allowing the right foot to come down, and then drawing the left leg straight up behind you. Allow both knees to come down towards the mat. Sink the hips back into child's pose. Take a rest from your dolphin because we're going to come back into dolphin. And then when you're ready, if you want to keep the hands interlaced, go ahead. Untuck the toes, lift the hips up, and see if you can walk your feet in maybe a step closer. Raise your right foot back up behind you. Raise your left foot up behind you. Come back down towards your knees. Sit back one last time for a child's pose, Balasana. Rising up, shifting all the way over to one side of your hip, and then swinging your legs out, straight out in front of you. Resting on your back so that your feet are directly onto the mat and your knees are stacked directly underneath your heels. We're going to set up for Setu Bandha Sarvangasana bridge pose. If you're like, oh, I'm done, I'm in a restorative mode, just grab your block and then lift your hips up and allow your sacrum to rest on your block for the Setu Bandha Sarvangasana bridge. But when you're ready, let's just anchor down into our heels, anchor down into our hands, and lift the sternum, or lift the spine and the pelvis up off of the ground. Come into this first bridge pose just to see what it feels like. Without actually moving your feet, try to scrub your heels back towards your shoulders so that this activates your hamstrings and loosens the flesh of your gluteus maximus. Continue to spread across your collarbones and your chest. And then when you're ready, start to lower down, articulating your spine one vertebrae at a time. Just like we were doing at the beginning in our cat and cow pose. Making any adjustments that you need to. Maybe you have to readjust your feet so that they are hips distance apart and stacked directly underneath the knees. Anchoring down into the heels, anchoring down into the hands, lift the sacrum, lift the spine up. And then roll the right and left shoulder underneath each other, interlacing the hands underneath you. If shoulders are tight, go ahead and grab the edges of the mat. Push down so much into your hands that you spread across your collarbones. Continue to actively try to scrub your heels back towards your shoulder blades and your hands so that you get this hamstring activation. When you're ready, lower down. Pausing in a nice neutral spine, neutral pelvis position. Setting up for our last one, anchoring down into the hands and the feet. Lifting the hips up, lifting the spine up, interlacing the non-habitual way. So just whatever's the more natural way, just interlace it the opposite way. And then again, lift the frontal hip points up towards the sky. When you're ready, allow your body to come down towards the mat. And then draw both knees into your chest. Hands come out to a T so that the palms are facing down. If you don't have the room, go ahead and cactus your hands straight up into the sky. And then allow the knees to draw over towards the right side. Extending your left leg and grabbing your left foot with your right hand. The left shoulder is still in contact with the mat as you take your gaze over to the left hand. Continue to breathe here. We have a couple more moments together. It's completely natural for the mind to want to wander. And when you're ready, draw both knees back up in towards the sky. And then shifting your left hip under your right, extend your left leg straight and grab a hold of your left foot with your left hand. The right shoulder still in contact with the mat as you turn your gaze over towards the right. Hi, everybody. Finding this nice, beautiful stretch through the right ribs. Finding a detoxing stretch as you exhale. If you can, try to lengthen the exhales as your body starts to cool down. When you're ready, both of the knees come back up in towards center, rocking and rolling yourself up until you come into a seated position. Straighten the legs straight out in front of you. And then draw the right heel in towards you. And then put the right foot in towards the left thigh. Allow the right knee to come down towards the mat. If you need a block to support yourself, go ahead and put that underneath the knee. If you don't have a block, you can use a pillow or a blanket. Actively drive through the heel of your left foot. So as if there was a wall in front of you and you're going to push it with that left heel so that you dorsiflex the toes. The toes come towards your face, dorso to torso. With the inhale, rise up through the hands, palms face each other at the top of the head. Again, the shoulder heads shouldn't scrunch up. They should allow space in the neck. The frontal ribs shouldn't puff out, and if they did, just draw the arms a little bit forward. And then as you grow tall to the sides of the waist, slightly rotate your torso towards your left thigh, and then hinge over your legs, Janu Sirsasana on the left side. Grabbing a hold of anything where your hands land, the mat, the shin, the foot, the hands.
Continuing to breathe here, the mind might begin to wander to a sound in the room, a smell. It's completely normal. Just recognize it's moved away from the breath and take a deep breath in. And when you're ready, come up halfway with the inhale. Exhale, let go of whatever it is you're holding on to and straighten both of the legs out in front of you. Drawing the left heel into your right thigh. Again, if you need support underneath the knee, drawing the hands up and above your head, just enough where you find the full extension to the sides of the waist. So we're not trying to extend past our ears where we puff out our ribs. We're not trying to, we're just finding extension to the sides of the waist. Turning our torso towards the right thigh and then hinging over that thigh and that leg and that foot. Drawing your Sirsasana on the right side. With the inhale, come halfway with the long spine. As you exhale, place both the legs straight out in front of you. Hands flow up and above your head. Exhaling, hinging over the thighs. Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Your seated forward fold, I should say. Feel how your body has completely softened. Your heart rate has completely dropped back to its resting rate. With the inhale, come up halfway with the long spine. Exhale, let go of whatever it is you're holding on to. Let's roll back onto our backs. Feet are planted onto the mat. Flex your right foot and cross it over your left knee. And this is a very nice stretch right here. If you place your hands on your thighs and gently apply pressure. If you're looking for a deeper stretch, draw the left knee in towards the chest. If you had to reach up and lift your head and shoulders up off of the mat, press back down towards the mat and then interlace your hands behind your left knee. Maybe you want to shift your weight over ever so slightly onto that left hip to feel a different sensation. Maybe you want to extend your right elbow to the right knee. Wherever you are, continue to flex through that right foot. And breathe. Both of the feet come back down towards the mat. Flexing the left foot over the right knee. And then drawing that right knee into your chest, choosing any variation. One side might be tighter than the other. You just have to find out where your body is today and honor that. Letting go of whatever it is you're holding on to, allowing your legs to stretch out completely out in front of you. Allow the legs to naturally display open, externally rotating away from each other. Allow the hands to rest on the sides of your body. So that the palms are facing up. And let's take a nice deep breath in together. Open mouth side, exhale, let it go. As you lie here on this mat, try to sink a little bit deeper. And let's start to begin to move our focus inward. As you inhale, bring your focus to the right hand. Bring your attention to the skin on the right hand, to your fingers on the right hand, your fingertips on the right hand. Bring the attention to your right arm, the right wrist, the right elbow, the right shoulder. Feeling how when you inhale, how the back of the right ribs expand on the mat. Feel how the back of the buttocks on the right side sink into the mat. Bring your attention to your right leg, the right hip, the right knee, the right ankle. Now bringing your attention to the right foot, the right sole, the right toes. Take a deep breath in to the right side. And then exhale, let go of the right side. Feeling a difference now in your body. Let's bring your attention to your left hand. Bring your attention to the left skin on your hand, the left fingers, the left fingertips. And as you continue to breathe deeply in through your nose, bring your awareness to your left arm, to the left wrist, to the left elbow, to the left underarm, to the left shoulder. As you continue to breathe, feel how your ribs expand on your back of your left ribs. Feel how the left side of the belly lowers as you exhale. Bringing your attention and awareness to your left leg, the left hip, the left knee, the left ankle. Bringing your awareness to your left foot, your left heel, the sole of your left foot, your left toes. Breathing now into your left side of your body. Open mouth side, exhale, let it go. Just feeling the difference of your practice. Roll over to your favorite side. Allow your hand to get heavy and push up to a seated position. Coming back into our Sukhasana. Allow the chin to rest down towards the chest. Just recognizing and honoring the work that you have done today on your mat. The highest light in me sees and honors the highest light in all of you. Ahia.
Thank you everybody for joining me this afternoon. Oh man, I have one of those.